Yeah, boom. We got May 21st trade recap. Let's get into what happened today. Uh, it'd be helpful if I fucking put this on my other monitor and showed you guys what's actually going on. Okay, boom. Okay, we lost hella bread today. Little stings quite bad, but you know, we are getting over it. This month we are overall positive still. Slightly, we had a little comeback yesterday after crash out on Friday last week. I'm gonna say today I'm not proud of the exact way that I used and read these markets, but it's going to be okay. I have hope and faith in myself and in my system that this was a terrible mental day for myself. Just taking the loss after loss and then second guessing myself. I think I screwed myself over today with a variety of reasons and just personal things that happened in my life that I should just said this is what I'm setting my standards to do, and I should have said I'm not going to trade this today, and I'm not going to do this combination of not having correct sleep and not having the correct headspace to be in to be able to manage my emotions when I'm coming onto these charts. So I'm gonna say I'm not proud of it, but I will make it a destiny of mine to make sure that this last week of what is this, May now? Yeah, of May, that we will make something work and we'll make something happen. So I was able to do it on this day, so we are going to use the remaining risk that we have and either blow it or we will start over again and we will fight the battle again, and that'll be how we will do it. If we look at Forex Factory and what we have on the calendar, we have literally nothing this week. So as I said earlier this week, we literally have no news events to drive us. So we have been chopping around very crazily on these charts. So this is not the only trade I took for the day. I also, if we come back over here, I think that it was right in this point right here where I took a long, which I am not proud of, but I'll explain to you guys why I took this today and then why I doubled down on this trade here today as well. So, holy shit, look like a ghost. There we go. Okay. Let's replay the market. Let's see what we were seeing coming into today and why we actually took what we took. So, let's go to the 4 hour. Let's just tell you guys a little bit about what the 4 hour is doing. So we're seeing a little bit of a retracement leg here. I was hoping that we might come down and hit this Asian session low down here, and that might be our liquidity to push us higher for the day. As you can see, we are in an uptrend, and we have been since we broke structure on this candle right here down here when we broke here. So we are, trending upwards. We are moving upwards. Scale down to the 1 hour. A little bit of a different story on ES. We have a actual breakup structure to the downside on ES, and we have this gap that we might be able to either respect or push past higher if we wanted to go higher for the day. But if we look on NASDAQ, just swap over, we can see that we have not broken structure yet. This low is actually quite a lot lower than where we are, but we have not actually broken structure yet on this leg. So we are still in bullish market structure to take longs, hopefully. But if we come to the 4 hour time frame, same story. We've been bullish ever since this leg right here. So if we head down to the 5 minute, what am I looking for? Okay, we have the session lows marked out. So we have ES already taking out London session low, and then NQ taking out London session low already. Well, ES is still above. We are looking for hopefully either markets to maybe come down and sweep both of these liquidity draws, or maybe one of them, like NQ has already, just to stay above, and then we can see reactions to the upside. That was my initial bias for the day. We can see that we have a strong or a very, very big unmitigated gap right here, really, other than this couple of taps on these 5 minute retraces. But other than that, this is a big unfilled gap that we could push directly through if we wanted to come up to these liquidity draws up here for the day. But as we can see, pre-market did nothing but chop, and that was kind of the theme going into the day as well today. As we can see, realistically looking here, it was almost like NQ. We were looking kind of weird here. It was kind of hard to analyze today. Let's not do that one. Let's do this. If we see on the 5-minute time frame right here, we actually break structure on NASDAQ to the upside. But if we come over to ES here, we have not, or we have broken structure here, but then we end up breaking structure back down to the downside right here on this candle right here. So we are heading downwards, and me seeing this, I see after this point, we get a huge reaction candle from this. I'm thinking, okay, the market was in a little bit of consolidation until we got past the manipulation point till 950. The macro time heads around, and then we get a massive expansion candle. And I kind of just top blasted this a little bit. But the reasoning for that was because on NASDAQ, I saw that we had already been in bullish market structure. And then I was waiting for ES to flip and close with bullish market structure right here. But what I failed to do in this case is I failed for both the indexes to correlate, for ES to flip back bullish, and then I failed for us to see a retrace back into some form of equilibrium or a gap or something to get filled here. And that's what we see get formed over here. But I top blasted it because I just said, oh, okay, we're breaking structure back to the upside. That should be good enough because we were already in this bullish trend. And then what did we do on the 1 minute? It came down to the 1 minute and we broke structure to the downside. And then we were able to get a flip back into bullish market structure when we flipped right over here, past this high and past this gap right here. So I thought, this is going to be our opportunity to hopefully get a crazy long setup that we could take all the way up to these highs right here. Holy, but all the way up to London highs. You get the point. Anyways, took that, ended up mentally second guessing myself, which is something I don't do a lot when I saw these red candles come in. And then immediately after these red candles came in for the first time, I ended up exiting somewhere down here, and then we saw us get pushes back up into this area. We could have waited until we tapped into this gap again up here on the 1 minute maybe, or anything else to maybe go for a break even, but we didn't have any break even points here, which was kind of scaring me. So I didn't really like this initial setup that we didn't wait for. But then we ran a little bit, and then we ended up coming back down here. We see right here, we end up coming back down, and then on this 5 minute here, we were looking to open up this gap, and then what did we do? We ended up inversing this gap, which showed us on either index that we were going to want to go lower, and on NQ, what did we do? We came down here and we closed below this low right here, so that flipped our overall sentiment down bearish again. And then what looked a little bit pleasing for me was these Asian session lows, and I was thinking, you know what? Whichever index is going to be able to give me an entry towards these Asian session lows should be the one that I should take to the downside, basically. So we open up this 5 minute gap right here. We get retraces back into it. We get a 1 minute break of structure back to the downside, not until this time right over here where we perfectly correlated, where both of the indexes retraced and were able to give us a 1 minute break to the downside. So we got 1 minute breaks right here on to the downside. Then we got 1 minute breaks before that on ES all the way over here, but we did not take it on this leg because we were waiting for NQ to break as well. So we waited for NQ to break. We were quite close to it. Ended up taking the trade, and then what do? We got chopped around because the market is not moving today. It was moving terribly. We ended up getting chopped around. We took the trade right here. That was our stop loss. We were 1.49 was our risk. If I really wanted to, I probably should have put the stop above this high right here, because then what did we do? We came down and then we almost picked it out, but I probably could have went break even when we got to this low, and then it would have been a lot less of a loss and a lot less worse of a trade for the day. So that was a mistake that ended up happening, but I doubled down on this, I believe. I think I ended up seeing us come back down over here and then took another stab at it, and it should just not have done that. Just should have avoided it, really. It wasn't a smart play on my end, but I'll accept that I took a bad mental stab at that one. So it's what it is. We'll see how we perform for the rest of the week, but overall market has just been not giving me opportunity to take anything this week really. So we ended up coming up and literally grabbing our initial bias for the day. So I was overall correct, and I'm knowing that I'm able to predict these markets, but it's just tough when you're not getting the delivery that you want to see when the market's open really. Because if we come back over here on the 5 minute, this just looks absolutely horrible and just like something I shouldn't be looking at really until we came up into these draws right here. It was already said for me that I don't really want to see us go lower. I want to see us take out these lows and then maybe go us higher. So it should have been in my mind that this is going to be a fake out play, that we're not actually going to manipulate and go down to these Asian session lows really, and we should have really waited for like official confirmation that we were actually going to go down to these lows and take them out. And even then, it wouldn't have been a initial crazy good trade to take, honestly, because what did we do? We came up and then we took out all of the highs that we were looking to take out earlier, but ended up manipulating us to the downside to make us think that we were going to go lower. Didn't actually do that. Should have really got off the charts after we saw that. So mistakes on my end, but what can you do? You just take that as a learning experience, and we actually learn from that, because using this as my journal, using this as my way to express my feelings and my thoughts, and I can admit that during these trades I was feeling emotional, I was feeling out of whack, and it's not normally like me to sit here and be obsessing over the trade and being like, is this one gonna hit? Is this one gonna hit? Is this one gonna be the one for the payout? And that's how these big red days always end up for me. So I'm going to take the rest of this very, very slow and very, very methodically, hopefully. So we will see hopefully tomorrow or next week with better news and better stats on our table. So I'll see you boys later. Peace.